New Zealand has won its bid to have a seat on the United Nations Security Council. International Relations Professor Robert Patman joins us to explain what that means for the country.
Good evening, Rebecca.
What does the Security Council do?
It's got primary responsibility for the maintenance of peace and security in the world, and it is one of the few bodies in the UN that has real teeth, providing all members of the Security Council agree on a resolution.
What is the benefit of having a seat on this?
It gives New Zealand a chance to be a much more active participant in the process of maintaining peace and security. And that is actually quite a big thing for New Zealand because we are critically dependent on our international environment. We do business by exporting. We export quite a lot of agricultural produce, so therefore we have a big stake in having a stable international environment.
When do we start our bid?
2007.
Oh, that's quite some time. Was the effort and cost worth it?
I think so, yes. It's a bipartisan effort. Both Labour and National have supported it. As you can see from the date, it started in 2007 under Helen Clark, it's been continued under John Key. I think it does give New Zealand a chance to enhance its profile internationally. Helen Clark once said the rest of the world can get along quite nicely without New Zealand. It's up to New Zealand to remind the rest of the world we're here. And I think it is an opportunity.
How often do seats come up on the Council?
For non-permanent members, every 2 years. And so New Zealand, the last time New Zealand was on the Security Council was 93, 94, about 20 years ago. But some countries getting on more regularly. For example, the two countries New Zealand was running up against, Spain and Turkey, have both been on the Security Council in the last 10 years.
So what does the win mean for New Zealand?
I think it gives an opportunity to improve the way the UN functions. The smaller states in the world are much more dependent on institutions working well because they're not big enough to look after themselves, so they need a bit of assistance in the terms of international bodies maintaining rules and order. And so it gives us a chance not just to complain about how things are going, but actually try and put some of those problems right.
Can we really make a difference?
I think so, yes. Well, one of the things that we've, in our campaign to get on the Security Council, we said that we would try to restrain the use of the veto. And the use of the veto by the permanent five, that's Russia, the United States, China, France and Britain, is one of the biggest reasons why the UN Security Council has become marginalised. All the key problems in the world, whether it be Ukraine or Syria, one of the permanent five threatens or does cast a veto, which means that the UN can't act. And so the argument from Mr McCulley and the Foreign Ministry has been that New Zealand wants to see the veto constrained so the UN can play a more active role instead of being marginalised from these key international problems.
How will our involvement benefit some other smaller nations?
Well, I think the smaller nations are the majority in the UN, and the measure of New Zealand's victory was stunning. 145 they got, the number of votes they got. They won on the first round, which was even more than Australia got when Australia recently got onto the Security Council in 2012, the end of 2012. Australia got 140 seats. I think New Zealand's strength is that a lot of small states are like New Zealand. They're not a threat to other countries, and yet their problems are some way down the international agenda. So it isn't a chance for, if you like, the silent majority to begin to play a more active role in shaping this key institution.
Professor of International Relations, Robert Patman, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.